Let me say something plainly. The most dangerous place in your organization isn't the shop floor. It isn't the customer call. It's the meeting. Because the meeting teaches people what truth costs. If truth gets punished, people stop telling it. Not because they're dishonest, because they're adapting. And then the dashboard stays green, right up until reality makes it red. Quick note before we begin. The views shared on Compass to Practice are my personal views and do not reflect those of my employer or any current or former company. I do not share confidential, proprietary, customer-specific, or employer-specific information on this podcast. Welcome to Compass to Practice, where leaders turn intention into behavior. I'm your host, Antonio Irizarry, and today's episode is The Meeting That Teaches People to Lie, How Accountability Turns into Theater and What to Replace It With. Most lying in organizations isn't fake data, it's edited reality. It's when a real risk becomes a watch item, when rework becomes normal, when red becomes almost green, when escalation arrives late, after the options are gone. And it usually happens for one reason: consequence design. If the first person who brings bad news becomes the example, the whole room learns a rule. Don't bring bad news. Bring a safer story. Here are the subtle meeting behaviors that produce theater. Leaders ask questions that sound like curiosity but land like judgment. Why did you miss this? How did this happen again? The meeting rewards polish over accuracy. Clean slides, confident language, fewer questions. The room treats uncertainty like incompetence, so people stop sharing early signals and wait until they have proof strong enough to survive. That's how accountability becomes performance. Not because leaders want it to, because the meeting is built like a courtroom. In lean manufacturing, Toyota's Andon system is built around a simple idea. When something is wrong, the worker can signal it and call for help, and the process can even stop so the issue gets addressed. That's not just a tool, that's a cultural decision. It is like American football. Your operators become your first line of defense. They're closest to the play. They see breakdowns first. They can stop damage from spreading. If they don't have a way to signal, or it isn't clear how or when to signal, then truth gets delayed. And delayed truth gets expensive. It says this: truth is more important than flow in the moment, because truth protects quality long term. Now compare that to most leadership meetings. In many organizations, we don't pull the andon in the room. We protect flow. We protect optics. We keep the agenda moving, and we ship the defect into the future. Here's a pattern I've seen across many organizations. A frontline leader raises a risk early. The risk is real, but the evidence isn't perfect yet. And instead of support, they get a response like, "Come back when you're sure. Don't escalate rumors. Handle it at your level." So what happens? They stop escalating early. They work around it. They absorb it locally. They protect the story until they can't. And when it finally shows up in the executive meeting, it arrives as a surprise. But it wasn't a surprise. It was a signal that got taxed on the way up. In complex systems, the truth is often known somewhere. The question is whether it can travel without getting filtered. This is one of the most dangerous misunderstandings in leadership. A quieter organization can look healthier. But sometimes teams report fewer problems, not because the system improved, but because the cost of reporting went up. High-performing teams often look messier on paper, because they're more willing to surface issues early and learn fast. So if your organization reports fewer problems, Don't celebrate too quickly. It may not mean you're healthier. It may mean you're quieter. When truth is expensive, people go silent. And the real metric becomes, how safe is it to tell the whole truth in this room? Here's what to replace courtroom accountability with. System first, barrier second, owner third. Not because accountability doesn't matter, but because blame makes truth late, and late truth is expensive. Run this 15-minute truth review at the end of your weekly meeting. 1. What changed? Not status, what actually changed. 2. What is stuck? Where is flow breaking? 3. What risk is being absorbed locally to keep it green? 4. What must move up now? Who must know today, not later? 5. What is the smallest action we will complete in 7 days? Complete, not plan. Then one leadership behavior that makes all of it real. The leader goes first. One sentence. Here's what I missed. Here's what I got wrong. Here's one decision I'm changing. When the leader goes first, the room stops performing and starts learning. If you want the sources behind these case studies, I'll include them in the show notes. If your meetings feel efficient, but you keep getting surprised, your meetings aren't efficient. They're expensive. This week, run one test. Ask, what are we calling green that feels red? And protect the first person who answers honestly, because that moment becomes your real operating system. Until next time, turn intention into behavior. Follow me on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you want more information, visit my website, www.compasstopractice.com.